Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? I see several of you have showed up. Oh my goodness, Elizabeth, Travis. It's really awesome that actually while we're streaming this, we can see comments and we try to do our best to answer those. So please feel free to put questions in the comments. We'd love to help you. This is not just a podcast for your learning, but also any feedback you have. Also, please feel free to reach out to myself. You can reach me directly on our farm and ranch line. It's 1-833-TX Ranch. Super easy to remember that number. That's my vanity number. Got really lucky to get it. I'm very excited. So it's simple, easy. I'll schedule an appointment if you want to have a one-on-one. And this is open to all agents, not just EXP agents. For those of you that don't know, my name is Lindsey Hollin. I am one of 10 managing brokers for EXP Texas. We have approximately 9,000 agents in Texas. So there's 10 brokers that manage those agents in all the territories of Texas and the different types of real estate facets. And including, we also have a commercial division, and I am heading up the farm and ranch division for EXP. So very excited about that. I'm happy that I can provide you with information in my experience. I've been in the business selling ranches exclusively since 2015. I have worked for some of the biggest conglomerates, farm and ranch conglomerates in Texas. So I've had a lot of experience, and I want to share it with you because I was fortunate enough to learn from some of the best men and women in the business. So today we're going to be talking about something that was a crazy concept. I didn't really invent it, but I was all about it. Very excited about throwing events and parties and meet and greets. So I said, why can't we have an open house for a ranch? And actually, I think it was Mitch Smith over at Riata Realty that actually started calling them open gates. Hi, sorry. Of course, you guys know my baby joins me.
She was growling.
Yeah, she's like, put me up here, Mom. I want to be here with you.
She's a person.
Yes. So that's my Roo girl. So let me get back. Mitch Smith, I believe, I'm going to give her credit for this because it's the first time I ever saw it. And instead of calling it an open house or an open ranch, we call it an open gate, even though we don't leave the gates open. So a really amazing concept. Another way for our farm and ranch community to get together to see these ranches that we list, get boots on the ground. Our philosophy in the farm and ranch world is you can't sell it if you haven't seen it. So this is an amazing way to get all the farm and ranch brokers across the state to come out to see your property that you have for sale, drive them around, get boots on the ground. So there's some best practices. We follow a similar outline to, open houses, and but there's a little different spin, and there's some additional items that you need to take note of to prepare for that day. So I have one of my icon agents here in San Angelo, Texas. This is Halle. She is an icon agent. She is an expert at selling homes in this community. But however, San Angelo is known for a lot of ranch land. So her and I have teamed up on a few ranches that we're selling, and I've kind of been showing her the ropes, and she's throwing her first open gate tomorrow. Very excited about that. We'll drop it in the chat, the link to that open ranch tomorrow. Very excited, and just learning everything. Halle, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Halle McCrory. I've been in San Angelo for 5 years, originally from North Carolina. Got to Texas as soon as I could about 7 years ago by way of Austin. Like Lindsey said, I'm an icon agent, and I have a team of 8 here. And in San Angelo, I started out residential. My husband's a builder, but just being in this area, it definitely bleeds over into the farm and ranch world, just since there's so much property with acreage. Even, I've sold houses obviously with regular size lots, but then it goes up to, clients calling me for now 330 acres. And that's just a totally different world. So that's where I rely on Lindsey's experience and partner with her on these deals. So I know I have the marketing expertise and some of the knowledge in the residential part of ranches, I would say, but then, I can still use Lindsey for the knowledge and fulfill that, I guess, TREC and NAR requirement of being, competent in the farm and ranch contracts. So it's really a win-win for both of us.
No, very excited. And two, for me, just reevaluating these concepts. Obviously, there's a lot that has changed in the past 5 years as far as technology, and how we can get information to other brokers, farm and ranch brokers, to other agents. So really stepping it up with the like AI and virtual assistants. I mean, there's so much going on. And even though farm and ranch sometimes is still an old school platform, being able to share how we can blend with this technology and really take these open gates, because at the end of the day, farm and ranch is a niche market. It's its own separate real estate entity. It has its own type of clients. It has its own lifestyle, different vendors, different lenders, different title companies. So really going through this, open house concept and how you can apply it for ranches and really add and level up your marketing to provide that, it's just another shout out. So I'm going to let Halle and I are going to do kind of a back and forth of, open house, but here's how you apply the concept and maybe tweak it and extend it for open gates, open ranches.
Awesome. So we'll get started. I just wanted to, start off with talking about why these are important and why they're good for you as a real estate agent. I always see, whether it be an open house or an open gate, this is a great opportunity, not only for you to potentially sell the property. Obviously, that's the first thing that we think of, but it's really, I always think of it as an audition to other people coming through, whether that be, nosy neighbors or, people that might not be that interested, but are just kind of looky-loos when they go to sell their home or their ranch. The better you put on this event, the more impressed they're going to be. And events in general, I mean, that's the best way, face-to-face to get people to know, like, and trust you. And people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So I think, the better event that you have and the more prepared you are, the better chances you are to pick up listings or buyers down the line.
So I want to tap in on that. So another concept, I am a huge listing agent. I love listings. I pass on my buyers if you're interested. It's my thing. I love marketing. So there was a concept I learned early on called milk the listing. Milk that listing for all it's worth. And I think sometimes we get tunnel vision on, I got to sell it. I got to put it, I got to market it, put it in the MLSs, the land MLSs. I got to send an email campaign out. Hopefully you're doing that, because email campaigns are important. I got to post it on social media. But let me tell you what this does. There is a massive brokerage team at EXP. It's ran by a guy named Ozzy out of Houston. And Ozzy said this amazing thing. He goes, we're all competing for market share, but when it comes to technology and social media and marketing, you're going for mind share. That's the internet highway. And every time you post, it's like a billboard down that highway. And you want to be top of mind, not just to sell that property, but you're the expert in the field. It's branding not only the property, but it's branding yourself. It's branding your expertise. It's branding you. It's branding if you have a team or a brokerage group, your brokerage. It is also helping. It's that next billboard. It gives you another reason to put up another billboard on social media, as I call it. Yeah. So, milking that listing, sending invitations. I normally do your neighbors are selling. Well, when you have an open gate, it gives you another reason to send out another, slew of mailers and postcards to say, hey, join us for open gate. I'd love to meet you. Because how many times you forget about making the neighbor the client, and who the neighbor knows. Because if they meet you, they enjoy you, you make them laugh. That's what I go for. I'm fun. I like people to know that I'm easy to talk to. I'm a real person. If you know me, I cuss a little bit ish, maybe a lot. I love to hunt. So once they get to know you, then you have that mind share. And so if they're interested in thinking, or like say, I always say it's whoever they know. Everybody wants to buy a ranch in Texas. Come on. That's like the ultimate, Texas dream. Yeah. So being able to remember, this gives me an opportunity, another reason to reach out. And don't forget, like I said, the people I reach out to, that list that you need to be sending this information to. First and foremost, your sphere of influence. Also, all your farm and ranch brokers and agents. So if you're in this business, you already know we're buds. Like, I don't care who your broker is. We're buddies. There are people I call, like, if I'm need something in Junction, Texas, Kelly Kothman is my first phone call. And we work together. It's a different type of mentality and camaraderie in the farm and ranch market because it takes two to tango. We all love the idea of having the buyer and the seller. However, typically it doesn't work like that. So really having an opportunity to shine and tell your fellow, people in this business, hey, I got this going on. It's a diamond. You need to come see it. Let's schedule some time and let's get you all there. And everybody, in our industry, it also gives us a reason to say hi, because we're so busy working, we don't get a chance to see some of the other individuals in our profession. So for those of you that are new and you have that residential real estate hat on, this is how we operate. So you have to take that off and realize this is kind of good old boy and we're buddies. And hey, I want to share this opportunity, man. This could be a slam dunk if you have a buyer. Please share this with their buyer. Keep it in mind. So it's that market share, that mind share of your top of mind with clients, neighbors, because man, that you're just extending your network. Get those email addresses. Add them to your list of, your mailers. I love postcards. I'm a huge postcard person. So being able to add more people to your list and just keep that, billboard, and always, and then it's not boring. A lot of people are like, I don't know what to post. I already posted coming soon. Already posted, just listed. It's like, what do I do now? This is the other billboard, and it's interesting. It's different. So it sticks out. So that was one of those things I wanted to let you know. That is kind of one of the key pieces, is it gives you another opportunity to make an announcement and to talk about not just the listing, but your brand, and what services you bring to the table.
Well, and on top of that too, going off of, networking with other farm and ranch real estate agents at these events, I feel like, learning from you, a lot of ranch deals are done off market. And this is an opportunity to develop relationships with those people and become someone that they think about to, send information to when there's an off market opportunity. And that's even more, if you have someone interested, that's even more when they hear it's off market, it's not listed yet. There's even more, like suspense to it and excitement. So I feel like that's another opportunity in there. And then on top of that, being with EXP and the farm and ranch division becoming a bigger deal, this is a good, agent attraction opportunity as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So like I said, there's a lot to cover. It follows very similar concepts to doing an open house. However, diving into that lifestyle of being a farm and ranch agent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I feel like we covered why open gates are important. You already know this from an open house, but so many agents come to me and say, if I don't have a big budget for marketing, what can I do to get myself out there, create authority, pick up buyers? This is literally free, or, can be very low cost depending on what you do for the event or what you do for the marketing. But this is literally your easiest ticket into, the least amount of money put into your budget for this.
And that's a great point, because another group of individuals that you're going to invite to your open gate is all your vendors. We have a crazy list of vendors. Like I said, I'm kind of talking from an experienced new agent, wants to look into farm and ranch, to my guys that do this day in and day out solely. So another group of individuals you want to target is your vendors list. And when I say vendors, I mean our land lenders: Capital Farm Credit, Texas Farm Credit, Crockett Bank, Lone Star. Get them, because they want to meet their clients or other agents. Mm-hmm. Not just, how does a client meet these lenders? It's basically through us, right. Through the broker, through the agent. So they love it. And Halle's point, those are the individuals that you ask, hey, I'm going to have this event. I'm going to have a lot of agents in this field. that could be potential clients for you. Would you like to come? Could you sponsor a charcuterie board or lunch? I kind of like to do a buffet style so everybody can pick and choose. But being able to say, hey, a lot of people are, confused about how do I get it paid for, or I have to pull it out of my own pocket. Absolutely not. Your vendors love the idea, super supportive. They normally all have branded. I know that some came with napkins that were branded, koozies, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So really leaning on your vendors. So another vendor that I like to use is Rancher's Title. If you didn't already know, there is a specific title company for farm and ranch across the state of Texas. I've had the pleasure of knowing them and working with them for a long time now. So I always include them, your septic guys, your surveyors. I mean, the list goes on and on. So really, the biggest thing is exposure and mind share, being top, using this as a marketing opportunity, not just the day at hand, but what you do, ahead of time is amazing. So in the grand scheme of getting it paid for, that is, leaning on your vendors is very important. And you'd be surprised how excited they are that you thought of them, and they contribute because they're also meeting clients as well.
Love it. Okay. Should we get into kind of the weekly schedule of breaking down what you're doing through the week?
You know what I want to get to is before that, what starts, the pre. So okay. To really be successful at an open gate, you have to be very successful and meticulous about, what did I call it? Sorry, I'm scrolling down at my notes. It is
pre-photography.
Yeah. And so I do a seller's interview. I have a seller's packet. And when it's a seller's farm and ranch packet. And a part of this packet, the presentation and the marketing is number one. And unlike getting ready for an open house where you clean and you put stuff away and that's it, there's a lot more when it comes to prepping for photography to market a ranch. And I like to have these open ranches not too far out from the photography, because then all the upkeep and maintenance is fresh. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that because it's super important and things you don't think about. And I actually just thought of this. I probably should share, if y'all are awesome, my pre-listing checklist that includes prepping for marketing, prepping for pre photos. So, and this checklist is kind of insane once you see it. So the high points are, we talk about curb appeal with a house. The curb appeal for a ranch starts with the gate. How many times does the front gate need to be, trimmed, weeded, re-landscaped, painted? So really letting your clients know, let's break this down on the high points of what needs to be done. And so I go through, and in this checklist before photography, that's one of the main things, curb appeal. You need to make sure that when they enter, that it looks clean and tidy. Also, when they drive up to the home, you need to make sure that, think about this, your hoses, wrap your hoses up. I mean, I hate to overdo it with my clients, and I say, listen, don't stress out. You don't have to do the whole, thing, whole list, but really take point the presentation of your ranch and how people see it and can experience is going to affect them making an offer. So, pressure washing, not just, the lodge or the home, but even the barns, getting those things organized. I have a few ladies that work for me that don't only do organization in homes, but organizing, the barn. It sounds crazy, but yeah, line up the vehicles, have everything looking, meticulous, wrap those garden hoses, shred, shredding is huge. Also too, there has to be a way to get around the ranch, either in a truck or a buggy. So, shredding the fence lines. The larger you can make that ranch feel, the better. Also, when the photographer goes out, he can get around and take photos of those high points, those money shots, as I call them. And what happens is, if that's already done for the photography part, it's already ready for the open gate. So that way you can get the clients, get the other agents. Hey, listen, there's a creek over here. There's a spring-fed creek, or man, take a look at this oak tree. It's massive. It's the largest post oak I've ever seen. Like just selling the story. But to do that before you get to photography and get to an open gate, there are some things you have to have done to make it successful. So, that's a few things that I remind my clients. You definitely want to follow that pre-photography checklist with the improvements, particularly in places that get more cluttered, like your storage, like your barns, things like that. Water features. If there's any way, if you can fill up water features, I know we've been in a drought, but if there's any way to accentuate those money shots, as I call them, the views, the river feature, water feature, so to speak, keep those in mind, because you want those to be the high points that people visit in your open gate. And they're also something you want your photographer to take note of. So starting with that process and doing that well is going to make you successful, for showings and for your open gates, and when people are actually boots on the ground. So that was just something I wanted to notate in my best practices. So curb appeal for a ranch, don't forget about the gate. Don't forget about making it easy to get around the property, either in a truck or a buggy. Shred, that's kind of a big one. Make sure your water features are looking good. And if you can, being able to ride the fence lines if at all possible. So I know some of these things don't always apply. But we try, and sometimes the clients don't always have the ability to do that. Providing a list of vendors that can provide those services, like pressure washing and things like that, are super helpful. So that is, everyone's like, we want the list, please. Sorry, guys, I didn't have it ready, but I will make sure that you get it. So yeah, that was like a big thing. If you start at the beginning and do a great seller's interview and a seller's checklist and pre-listing checklist, pre-photography checklist, you're going to set yourself up for the most successful showings and open gate.
Someone said, what is shred?
So when you it's kind of like mowing, but with a tractor. So when you have a field that's overgrown, being able to shred that field, that's what we call it in farm and ranch. So shredding the field. Sorry, that's like
any other I think dragging the fields.
Well, yeah. So say you need to drag the field, like if it's an actual field for harvest or planting, or a food plot for my hunting people out there. You want it to look as tidy as possible. You don't want it to look overgrown and wild, because to me, my personal opinion, it shows pride and ownership and care. So having it ready to go and clean. When you buy a used car, are there McDonald's bags and trash in the back? No, it's clean. And I have to remind, it's kind of funny. We have to remind our clients, because they're like, why do I have to do all this work? I'm like, listen, if you want the best price and the best outcome, we have to set ourselves up for success. Yeah. And to do that, and I do use the truck, the truck analogy, and hey, you need to detail it. And it's not going to be perfect. It's used, but they also don't want your trash. Yeah. So anything we can do to put ourselves ahead and put its Sunday best on, as you could say, that's what you need to do prior to. So, and that's something that you can get help from your sellers with.
Perfect. Okay. Good for the weekly schedule?
Yes.
Okay. So I made this is going to be based off of a Sunday open gate. I made a Monday through Sunday checklist for holding open a ranch. So let's say you hold your open gate on Sunday. Monday is going to be kind of your easy day to, recover from having that whole event. This is just the only thing for Monday is going to be selecting the property that you're going to be holding open. So, going on the lands of Texas, if these are all Texas people or are these all U.S.
people.
Okay.
Texas people.
Okay. Well, I guess going on your lands of whatever. Ours is lands of Texas.
Also, land broker co-op.
Land broker co-op, or maybe going on Workplace and seeing if anybody in your area has a ranch listed. Basically, you're going to select that property and get permission from another agent if you don't have any ranch listings. That's really it. Selecting the property and starting to think about what you're going to do for marketing. Tuesday, this is the day. So I know this about my local news outlets. They sometimes take a little bit to reply. So Tuesday's the day that I start emailing out to news outlets, whether that be like our local TV stations or because they have social media, or like digital, I guess, newspapers as well. I'm going to start emailing out to them to promote the open gate. Another big one for me, I'm a chamber member, so I get access to their social media and they'll promote things for me as well. So emailing those contacts. Second thing on Tuesday, securing a Polaris, or as Lindsey calls them, a buggy, if you can.
Here, for people that are new, they have to secure them. If you're a farm and ranch agent, you already got the truck, yes, the trailer, the buggy. So, this is what I love. Since we're, since there's seasoned farm and ranch agents and there's new agents here, being able to explain. If you don't have one, partnering up with other brokers or agents that do. Also, too, Halle's talking about starting a week out. Depending on how rural the community or the ranch is, you may want to start 2 weeks out so you can get in your schedule as well. So those are some items, because I know some of us, our calendar, it isn't as flexible as an open house where you can just drive down the street. So, kind of applying the concept of she's doing a week out. I probably would do 2 weeks out. Okay. On that, but same concept of putting the strategy and the order together. And amazing. Yeah. People forget. Y'all forget. The chamber is huge. And also too, so in my area, so to speak, I'm in Fredericksburg. However, I list a lot of ranches in Mason and Atlanta and in Kerrville. So, it's a tight-knit community. It's only a 30-minute drive. Belonging to those chambers, getting those lists, having another reason to reach out, that mind share is huge. So kudos for you. She's a little rock star. What can I say? She's already ahead of the game. I wish I was doing this at 20, she's amazing. So yes, don't forget about your sphere of influence and owning your backyard.
Even like another group that I'm a part of, Young Professionals of San Angelo, they have a big social media presence. So that's someone I reach out to as well. The next thing on our list is securing your sponsors. So, for example, for my open gate this weekend, I picked charcuterie because I love charcuterie. It's very popular right now. And one of my good friends owns a business here. And she does a wonderful presentation and everybody always loves, what she puts out. So I got her to make a big charcuterie board that she's actually dropping off today to my office for me. And I reached out to my local Capital Farm office and asked if they would sponsor the charcuterie platter. And of course they said yes, because most of their marketing, I feel like if they're going to advertise like on a billboard or, like sponsor an event, it's like $1,000. But, for a little charcuterie deal, it's like $100. Well, I guess it's not that little. We're doing kind of a bigger one, but $100 versus $1,000, they're always like, yes, that's, yeah, for sure.
And it gives them a chance to promote their business, but also too cross promotion. So, obviously the person doing the charcuterie board, that business is going to post online, hey, look at this amazing board we did for this open gate for Halle. And so their subscribers you're going to get mind share there. So that what we call cross branding, crossing to our other contacts and vendors that are a part of this. Absolutely. Yeah. So, even the person that's going to be sponsoring it, being able to, social media
like Capital Farm will put it on there.
It's king here. So being able to say, hey, selfie with Capital Farm credit. Like I said, you're always trying to gain that mind share. It's not always about what I have sold and what I have listed. That gets boring. So this is, organic content that's fun and exciting, and just, it's that planting the seed versus screaming it in their face.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So next step for me is going to be, I'll quit the day since we're talking 2 weeks out now. The next thing I'm going to do is create my social media advertisements. Social media right now is all about video. So if you don't already have video on the ranch, if it's not your listing, maybe ask the listing agent if they have any professional video already done. Or you could go out to the ranch ahead of time and get some video footage and make use like a CapCut kind of app and make a really cool video, or hire someone to make a video for you and use that for your social media.
And a little sidebar here. Love this concept. So I'm used to taking my own ranches and doing my open gates. So, say you're a newer agent and you need business and you need experience, hosting an open gate for another farm and ranch broker. Um, hey, anybody that wants to do the work for me, sign me up, bring it on. I always, these things can be stressful. You're already busy doing other real estate items in your day. So having, agents, this is very popular in the housing market, is to, host an open house for another agent. Well, think about it. Finding a ranch, that you can market and advertise as you're the host for this open gate for this other broker. Super cool concept. I mean, we have a ton of people in EXP. I think we have about 600 signed up just in Texas for farm and ranch. We have a ton of great farm and ranch listings. So being able to put yourself out there, maybe if you work for a brokerage, if you have a farm and ranch brokerage, ask one of the other agents, hey, this is a really cool listing. Do you think maybe we could do an open gate and I'll help you with it so I can get some promotion and get my name out there? So I know agents tell me, like, I don't have experience. I don't have a ranch for sale. I don't have anything to do. And it's go back to those basic concepts. So I love the fact that Halle is throwing this out there. Listen, if you don't have a ranch for sale, find another agent that does and see if they'll allow you to host one of these events, because it's a win-win for both of you.
Absolutely. So going back to social media, I always make sure to hit Facebook, Instagram. LinkedIn has been huge for me. There's a lot of farm and ranch people on LinkedIn right now, at least for me, especially like oil and gas people. I feel like they're huge on LinkedIn right now.
Very good point.
Twitter, I'm not a big Twitter person, but I still post it on there. TikTok, easy to post videos as well.
Trump social.
Yeah, and Craigslist is, I know, yeah. That's
hey, that's one of my favorites. It's, it's wherever your target environment is.
Yes.
Like LinkedIn is huge and so overlooked.
Yeah.
I mean, who's on LinkedIn?
And Craigslist too is another big one.
And that's something I never think of. Mm-hmm. So, the sky's the limit here as far as there. You never know where that buyer is going to be.
Yeah. And you could even go, I mean, like for the older generation too, it could be, one of those like kind of penny newspapers. We call it the thrifty nickel here, but people still totally look at those. It's crazy. Like I'll post houses in there and they're like, oh yeah, I saw you in the thrifty nickel. And I'm like, whatever works. That's just another idea for an avenue. Next step though, which it's been super successful for my business, both in farm and ranch and in residential, is Facebook groups. There are so many people looking for farms and ranches. There's, we have a bunch of Texas farm and ranch groups. There's national ones. Another big one for us is Texas Horse Properties. That's a huge platform. I think there's at least 15,000 people in that group. And I always get people commenting if I post on there. So don't forget about Facebook groups. Like for the ranch that we're promoting tomorrow, it has an airplane hangar on it. So I even found farm and land, or like land listings with airplane features. That was a Facebook group. Posted it there.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then like always, local swap and sell groups. So many people are involved in those, no matter if you're in a small town or a big town. So definitely don't forget about the Facebook groups. Those are, and that's free to promote there. It's a gold mine, truly. Okay, so then next step, letting other realtors know. This is where you're gonna, maybe look on like the Lands of America or Lands of Texas websites and see who are the big, brokers in the surrounding, 100 miles.
I normally do it by the state, because at the end of the day too, I always bring it back to, even if they're not going to come and they're in our business, it's mind share. And it's knowing that they're in your profession and they're in your group. Mm-hmm. So one of those organizations that I'm a member of is the Texas Alliance of Land Brokers. So it is a huge organization. These are full-time land. Most of them are brokers at a broker level. And being able to promote, saying, hey, I'd love to have the Texas Alliance Land Brokers membership there. I get, just like Halle said, get the mailing list, get their email list, send it out to them. Say, hey, just wanted to give you sneak peek before it hits the market. We're doing an open gate. So absolutely finding these niche lists, your low hanging fruit, your big fish, to do that. So that's another organization. If you're interested in selling farm and ranch, or you sell ranches full time, if you not know about the Texas Alliance of Land Brokers, man, you're missing out. It's an amazing organization. They have meetings once a month. They also provide a lot of farm and ranch curriculum and even farm and ranch CE and major speakers within our network. So that's one list that to me is huge. Normally they show up to my open gates religiously. So that's another targeted market that I can share with you.
Yeah. And even if I know a lot of land brokers aren't in MLSs, but if you are, don't forget to email out to your MLS and put, like in my MLS, we have an open house feature. I'm using that for an open gate, same thing. So, yeah, don't forget to do MLS if you are a part of one. Okay, next. So that's a lot of our marketing, or I guess digital marketing. The next step is putting out signs. So especially if the ranch doesn't have super easy accessibility, put out signs so people can easily find the ranch. Does that make sense? Like turn this way or open house this way. You can order cheap open house signs on.
Okay, crazy enough is I do balloons. I normally, because you can tie a balloon to a fence post or a gate, or like she had said, some of these places, I mean, it's a great county road. It's graded, it's nice, but it can get a little confusing and you're not sure if you went the right way and you don't have cell phone service. So having those markers is key for the day of, because it makes it super easy for an agent that maybe not be familiar with that area. On top of obviously having a map right, having turn-by-turn directions, having markers out, visible markers. And I do balloons because they're obnoxious and they're fun and people know, oh, that's where the party is.
Too windy in West Texas for us, but
well, I'm in the hill country, so it's not as windy, but yeah, she's right.
Know your area.
Even if it's survey tape, having some sort of marker that leaves those breadcrumbs when you're trying to, get those agents out there, that's a part of, your strategic planning as well. That seems to get overlooked. That's very helpful to your guests that are coming.
Yes. Next step, making flyers to give out to people. I personally like to make squeeze pages. I don't know if any of you guys with EXP utilize KV Core. They have an open house app, but I even like to get, I don't know, I guess it's different for an open gate, right? I like to make a squeeze page, and we're going to show you a link on how to do this. I think we'll be able to share our screen and present it here in a minute. But you can make a squeeze page where when somebody pulls up the information to the property, they actually have to input their name and email first to see the property, or to see the information on their phone. And then their information will automatically get put into your KV Core for future marketing that you want to do with them.
Yeah. So if you don't use KV Core, whatever your CRM is, so this is a cool concept, especially when, sometimes people don't want to take collateral and materials. So if you have a sign up with a QR code, and all those brokers and visitors can just, scan it, and then boom, all the information is there for them to share with other clients. Or, hey, I have a buyer for this. Let me send them the information. And being able to scan it, obviously after COVID, we all know what QR codes are now, and everyone knows how to use them.
Right.
So being able to add that squeeze page.
So here's an example of a flyer for an open house I did, and I just put the QR code in the middle. When people open up this link, it goes to the squeeze page, and they have to put in their information first. So we're going to show you a little video on how to actually do this in KV Core for those of you who use it. And if you're not using it and don't use a CRM at all, you're missing out. Okay, so now I think you have to share your screen.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
You're like, I know.
She bossy. What can I say?
Yes, I love that. Use it.
She bossy.
when they were no longer cool, then COVID brought them back. Love it, Stacy.
We're getting some. She's gonna look at the chats while
share
I
screen,
get this uploaded. She's looking at the chat right now. So very excited. We're gonna get this taken care of. All right, that should be shared. There we go.
Awesome.
And let me play it.
Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick video showing you again how to use a squeeze page on your KV Core that you get through EXP. How to use that to get people's contact info at an open house instead of trying to get them to sign in or get their contact info. It's almost impossible for some people at open houses. I know it makes a lot of agents uncomfortable. So here's a good way that I think, just a good way to get around it and to come across more authentic. So here's like a Canva post I had made for a previous
video
open house, and has a QR code on it. So let me show you what I'm doing. So in order to make a squeeze page, or let me explain what a squeeze page is in the first place. A squeeze page is a link that you make through your CRM that, depending on which settings you click, in order to keep looking on your site, they have the person on your site has to fill in their name and phone number, email, whatever. So the way we do this, and then when they input it, it goes right into your CRM. So it saves you another step. So we're going to we go to lead engine, build squeeze page. For this one, we're going to do a single property, but if you wanted to do a multi-property, that would be good for, like, let's say you made a Facebook post and boosted it and said, property list that people look at. And then when, like, so if you do one, they can't look at any of the houses before inputting their information. But for this example, for open houses specifically, we've got the single property. So for this one specifically, we've got 5732 Stratford. For the source, I'm going to put open house squeeze page so I know exactly where they came from when I'm looking at the contacts info. You can do hashtags. I like to do immediate personally. 2 is the default that KV Core recommends. However, I personally like this because when they open the QR code on the flyer, it's going to immediately ask them for their info before they can even see any information on the house. And they're going to want that since they're motivated to look at the house. So we've got those. We're going to generate the link. I'm going to use this direct link. So here's what the link looks like. This is what the buyer is going to see. So here they can't see or they can't scroll. I'm like trying to scroll on this. They have to enter their email. So yeah. So the way we do this in Canva, so I'm going to delete this little QR code. It's going to be, let me move on the left here. We're going to click QR code, enter the URL, generate QR code. We'll stick it right here. And then what I do is I have this set up on my laptop. I have it open. I have my settings done where I don't have to keep touching my computer for this to keep going. But basically you would download this and then open it on your screen. So that way it's just a nonchalant way for, it looks like you're being helpful, which you are. So, as someone comes in, instead of asking them to sign in, be like, welcome to the house. My name is Halle. I am, holding this house open, and, please use your phone to scan this QR code to get all the information on the home as you walk through. So
I think that's good. We can stop it there.
That was awesome. Thank you. Let me stop sharing for a second. Oh, okay. Really amazing tactic. Oh, that's so funny. Everybody's talking about QR codes now. So what I want you to take from this is one, being able, instead of printing out a bunch of brochures that normally end up in the trash and things like that, one, having a checklist of who all came. So an easy way to do that is to have this flyer, very beautiful, using Canva. I'm a Canva user as well, for a lot of my marketing materials. Creating that QR code, putting it on something to scan, and that way when they do come in, hey, have fun, look around. We're gonna ride around in the buggy and check out the property here in about 10 minutes. If you need information on this, scan the QR code, check in. It'll also send you the marketing materials, so that way you can also send thank yous and things of that nature. So this is a great tip that Halle's had success in on the technology side, that really could be used also in an open gate. Like I said, it's low maintenance. It's, it's just one of those, it's one less thing that's a massive task. And like I said, even look at the money to print. Some of our brochures are 8-page brochures on some of these ranches. Yes. They're very, very expensive. Yeah. So not, in an open gate, you go through 20 of those. So, and how many people like to share just links? I have a client, I have guys telling me all the time, I have a client to be good for. Okay, well, scan this QR code and send them the information. And that way they have it and they can get it done. Time is money. Yep. Let's sell.
Yep.
Thank you for that, Halle. And also, too, guys, I did put the YouTube link to that presentation so you could kind of follow. Squeeze pages are not exclusive to KV Core. They're a very common technology now being used. Mm-hmm. So take advantage of them. Look into that. If you're not a techie person, get your assistant to do it. So yeah, definitely a new item to our technology marketing world. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. Next thing I was going to say, if you need to get your, okay, cool. If you need to get any food or drink ready, please have that. Don't forget that on your list. Like I said, the charcuterie that I'm doing this weekend.
Beer and wine, let me tell you.
Yeah.
You have refreshments at the ranch where you can have a little cerveza. Yes. Doing your sachet around the ranch.
Well, and especially if there's, like, for example, the ranch that we're doing tomorrow, it has a house on the property, so we'll be stationed there. It kind of just depends on whether you do have a place to be stationed that people will go meet you at first.
And if you don't, that's another good point. Take and get a piece of plywood, put it in the back of your truck, throw blankets over it, and have that be your station for snacks and
right by the gate or something.
Or maybe set up a tent and so there's options there, even if you don't have a home or a residence to kind of park all the major items, the headquarters, so to speak. There's always, who doesn't like, having, talks around the tailgate. Yeah. So, having those items is, doing it out there. Like, I like the tailgate. I've done those and it's fun. So yes, don't forget, that pre-set up. And you're kind of going to know your audience. Most people will RSVP, let you know they're coming. But yeah, beer and wine. Make it an enjoyable experience, make it fun, but also have that set up, make it look nice and presentable. Just one more way to show, kind of just how you do business.
Yes. Okay, so that was my setup for, I guess, the week, but now 2 weeks, according to Lindsey.
Sorry.
Just some important things I want to note too. I feel like one of the most important things about hosting the open gate is the follow-up after. Please don't forget to follow up with some of the brokers, even a simple thank you for coming. Please let me know if you have any clients that might be interested or if I can send you any information. Even it's been popular to send videos to clients afterwards, thanking them for coming. Just another way for them to get to know, like, and trust you. And any hot prospects, reach out like that night, the next day, sometime within the next 24 hours after the open gate ends, especially if they seemed very interested.
I know you're exhausted afterwards sometimes and it's easy to forget, but the follow-up is key.
Yeah.
Also, too, people that didn't make it, hey, just in case you missed it, that mind share of it gives you another reason to talk about it, to talk about yourself, to talk about your branding, your opportunity, and what you've done. So, I love that. I actually had that with some of the podcasts I've been following. In case you missed it, here are the highlight reels. So great idea too. Like I said, nuggets of knowledge from this beautiful young lady here.
Make sure to have your business cards with you too, or if you use like a digital business card, don't forget that. We already talked about partnering with a land lender. One for sponsorships, but also like Capital Farm Credit's giving me a bunch of brochures to have out there. So I just look like even more of a resource out there. And another thing I like to do at open houses and open gates, now open gates in the future, I like to have my buyer's guides and seller's guides out as well. I know, like Lindsey said, she has a checklist. I think that'd be a great resource to have out to show people that you are an authority, you are competent in the farm and ranch world. Even if you're not, this is a good way to, fake it till you make it. Really. That's my personal opinion. And not many people do have their buyers and seller guides out. And if you need a good one, reach out to us and we'll help you.
We have some really great examples. Because here's the thing. The nosy neighbors may come. You can introduce yourself. Hey, if you're thinking of selling, you have that buyer's guide. It has your information on it. Like Halle said, it just reinforces what you bring to the table, your experience and your expertise. So,
and Lindsey, correct me if I'm wrong. I have one more tip. I use this for open houses. I like to know or have a list of if they don't like this house, maybe some other similar houses that are available in the area. Would it be a good idea to, have top of mind a list of ranches or properties that might be similar to this one, or, maybe not even similar, but just in the same area that you could help with?
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 reasons. One, if you're in the farm and ranch world, you already kind of have an idea because you've ran your comps and you know what's out there. So that's another hit list. Inviting those agents with similar ranches to this one. Also, too, when you do have a buyer, showing them, hey, listen, if this ranch doesn't work for you, I do know one down the road. I'll be happy to represent you as a buyer and show you. So yes, that is a great point. Like I said, a lot of these tips in real estate do apply. We just have to make a slight adjustment, so to speak. So great tip. Halle's actually, good. I was going to say this. Halle is an amazing resource. Please follow her on Instagram. You can see right there, any questions, follow her on her Facebook. It's Halle Holmes. On the technology side, she is such a resource. I'm so happy to have her. Like I said, learning about squeeze pages and virtual assistants and AI. She just did a class on AI the other day, and I'm like,
I love ChatGPT.
Blown away by this. So please have a chance, follow her. Get those nuggets of knowledge. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, schedule an appointment. Let me see if it'll do this. Let me see if it has my scheduler on here. It may not. Oh, it does. There you go.
Yeah. So now you can.
So if you want to set a time, maybe schedule a little chat with me one-on-one, you're more than welcome to. You can set it up in my calendar right there. Calendarly is another tech tool that I use. Or give me a call directly. You can call us at my office at 1-833-TX-RANCH. That's really all for today. Thank you so much. Really excited to have y'all. Please feel free, subscribe, share. We have a lot of amazing classes coming up here shortly, podcasts. I can't wait for you to meet some of our guests, the likes of the owner and creator of MapRight, All Out Ranch Improvement.
That's another thing. I mean, this is just for probably ranch listings in general, but have a link for your MapRight, or, get a link from the listing agent, or if they don't have one, make one for them.
Absolutely. MapRight's a huge tool. So as she said, so going back, we have some of our farm and ranch advisors here at EXP. I'm very excited. Stacy Bray, who is actually making some messages right now. She is going to be teaching 2 amazing classes with us in my podcast. So very excited. So stay tuned. Please, please, please like, share, save, and subscribe.
Yay. Thanks, guys.
You have a good Friday. Bye.
Who's here?